Shalom, shalom, everybody. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Wednesday class, and it's also it's our 9th episode of an uncomfortable conversation with a non-Messianic Hebrew Israelite, and we're going to be dealing with it's been long awaited the ties of Christianity has with Buddhism. You know, it's a lot of people that don't really know the a lot of people don't know the significance of that, but Christianity comes out of Buddhism, and I'm gonna connect all those dots tonight. So with that being said, I'm gonna start out with a like we normally do with a moment of silence for Lord of Hosts, you know, and for all that he's doing, you know, in the earth pertaining to our deliverance from our prophesied deliverance from the land of our oppressors. So with that being said, we're gonna do this moment of silence and then prayer. Again, go into this episode 9. O Lord, I pray unto the Lord my God. We make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee, and them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither they have been driven, that thou hast driven us, because of our trespass that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil is come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas, Caribbeans, Great Britain, and Africa. O Lord, to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city, Jerusalem, and thy people, and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for the Lord's sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake. O my Lord, for thy people and your land needs you very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So, like I was saying, we're dealing with the ties of Buddhism to Christianity, and so to start it out, I'm gonna do a little introduction. It says Buddhism is the world's 4th largest religion, with over 250 million followers. Over 7% of global population are known as Buddhists. Buddhism encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices, largely based on the original teachings attributed to the Buddha and resulting in interpreted philosophies. It originated in ancient India as a tradition sometime between the 6th and the 4th centuries BC, spreading through much of Asia. Okay, and so with that understanding, it's 2 types of Buddhism. But I'm gonna after I finish this, I'm gonna show you what happened. It was original Buddhism. When the Greeks came, understand how they operate, they synchronized into every religion, and they synchronized it with their religion, and then become morphed into something else. So anyway, same thing would happen with the Tanakh. They came in, brought their religion and their concepts and ideas and morphed it with the Tanakh, and that's how you get the New Testament. I'm gonna show you that. So it says most of Buddhist traditions share the goal of overcoming. You have to pay attention to this. So it says most of Buddhist traditions share the goal of overcoming suffering and the cycle of death and rebirth, either by the attainment of nirvana, which meaning to blow out or quench. And there's 3 fires pertaining to that, which is greed, aversion, and ignorance. When these fires are when you overcome these these three fires, when you overcome these three fires, the cycle of rebirth, you become just dealing with reincarnation, and once you overcome those that through suffering, and you overcome those the greed and the aversion and the ignorance, then you become you extinguish those three fires, then you release from that cycle of being born and reborn and like that. Okay, and so the other one is the path of Buddhahood, which refers to, keep in mind, we're dealing with Buddhism and Christianity. Buddhism came long before Christianity. So the other one is a path of Buddhahood. And that path refers to anyone who has made a resolution to become a Buddha and has also received a conversation or a prediction from a living Buddha that this will be so. So same as Christianity. It says Buddhism is an Indian religion founded on the teachings of a malevolent and spiritual teacher called Buddha, all right, the awakened one. And this happened, this Buddha came on the scene in between the 5th and the 4th century BCE. So, and the evidence of the early texts suggests that, I really don't know how to pronounce his name, but Siddhartha Gautama was born, right? So what I'm gonna do is, it's like a 6-minute video. It's talking about the Buddha and how he was, what went down with him. So I'm gonna play that, and then we're gonna go into the class. Let me get it come up first. Okay.
For 49 years, the Buddha of the world journeyed barefoot along the shores of the Ganges. He led us in the learning of the way to liberation, guiding us through the darkness like a path of light. The Buddha was born a prince of the Sakya clan and was named Siddhartha. At birth, a sage predicted that he would grow up to become a great holy king who would unify the world. As the future ruler of the Sakya clan, Prince Siddhartha lived a luxurious life of comfort and pleasure in the palace. However, in search of the great way of liberation, to save all sentient beings from the cycle of birth and death, Siddhartha left the palace on a white horse. He came to a forest at the foot of the snowy mountains, and there he practiced asceticism. For 6 long years, Siddhartha endured every form of ascetic practices until he finally realized that the middle path was the answer. Cultivation is like playing a musical string instrument. The string will snap if it is too tight, or not make any sound if it is too loose. Indulgence in sensual pleasure or extreme penance are attachments. Be at peace with the middle path for achieving the liberation of body and mind. Siddhartha sat in cultivation beneath the Bodhi tree. Alone, he confronted the tortuous assailants from Mara's evil hordes. The earth is my witness. At that that instant, Siddhartha was in complete tranquility and perfect emptiness. He was enlightened and he became the Buddha. Strange indeed, all sentient beings exist with a Buddha nature, but it is suppressed by vexation and delusion. I wish to be humble. I am not enslaved by fame and wealth. I have come to spread the Dharma, to free all sentient beings from the sea of samsara. Your Majesty, as a king, you should love your people as your own children. A king should not oppress the people. Life should be valued equally, as nothing is more honorable than life itself. Whatever the hierarchy, every person has an inner self that can shine forth. Buddha, please let go of me. I am dirty. Niti, we should not look down upon ourselves. One does not become distinguished by one's birth, but by one's behavior. You clear the dirt from people's homes. I clear the dirt from people's hearts. Hence, you and I are the same. Please rise. Rahula, is the water in this basin drinkable? Of course not. You are just like the water in this basin, essentially clean, but as you persistently tell lies, you become tainted.
See how he quoting all these parables and quoting all these wise sayings?
Aniruddha, let me do the sewing for you. Neither the disciples nor the sentient beings have I ever considered as mine. I am but just a member of the Sangha. World-honored one, why do you sit under a withered tree exposed to the sun? Please, go into the shade. The shelter of your own clan is far better shade than that of any tree. Your Majesty, can you not feel it? Since enlightenment, I've shown you the noble eightfold path. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. I have never wearied of teaching the Dharma. The Buddha was born in a palace. While still in his youth, he became a monk. He attained enlightenment under a Bodhi tree. At the age of 80, between the pair of Sana trees, the Buddha entered Nirvana. I have delivered all the sentient beings I could, and have planted the seeds of deliverance for those who have yet to be delivered. Let the precepts be your teacher, and my teachings your guide, and I will be with you forever.
Okay, so what we just watched was they was telling you about how this dude, Sadaka, he was a prince in this wealthy city, in this wealthy kingdom, and his father was over in India, and his father kept him inside the house all the time. So he decided to go out one day. His daddy didn't want him to see, sickness and sin and all that. And finally, one time he went out and he started seeing all this sickness, and so he took it upon himself to go out into the wilderness, and he stopped eating and fasting and starving himself. He wanted to know the truth behind what all this stuff was about. Why were some people wealthy and some not? And he went so he like I said, he would not eat, and he would live off the land. So like I said, right out the bat, you see that that's tied to John the Baptist. John the Baptist is what he was doing, and that's what the Essenes was doing. So I'm gonna make this little move right quick, and we're gonna go right on into it. I had to record. I had to do that in here, so let me get in here. We're gonna get busy. Okay. Yeah, so like I was saying before, when I first started playing the video, that it's you got it's two Buddhism now. After the Greek conquest, which is where Alexander stopped his conquest, was in India, and so that's where they came in. The Greeks came in contact with Buddhism, and so like I said before, they Hellenized everything. That's what Hellenistic means. And let me get this right quick. Okay. Okay, so you see right here behind me, this the Buddha. This the Buddha that was there when the Greeks got there. This the Buddhism. And like I said, notice his features. You got the woolly hair, the little kinky hair. You got dark skin. And just for anybody that want to do the research, this the guy that right here. This the Buddha. This the one that went out and he became the Buddha. That's how you spell it right there. You're going to do the research. His name said Sadaka, whatever, I can't really pronounce it. But he's the one that went out and so after the Greeks came, then you had another version of Buddhism right here. I'm gonna get this show it to you. Here we go, right here. So that's right here. This the original Buddha. Like I said, look at how he looked in his countenance. And then you go to the one now. You got this the original Buddhism. Now they got another Buddhism called Mahayana Buddhism. Right here. It's Manya. This, see, that's a white man. So, but this the original Buddha they had went for thousands and thousands of years before the Greeks came on the scene, showed up on the real scene. Then now you got this, but you also have this too. So you say, well, what you talking about? Let me show you something else. So that's what they call Hellenistic. Give you one more, show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So okay. So now we got this right here. We dealing with Christianity. We started out in the Old Testament. Our God that was over us was Lord of Hosts, and then you can go and the description of him is in Daniel chapter. Let me read that. Daniel chapter 10. Let me read it. Daniel chapter 10. This is what this Daniel describing. So it says, Daniel chapter 10, in verse 4. In the 4th and 20th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man, clothed in linen, whose loins were girded about with fine gold and upas, his body also like beryl, and his face as appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like the color of polished brass. So that's a bronze color. And a voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. So that's him right here. It's the Lord of hosts right here. And so then we see right here in Revelation. Go to Revelation right quick. Chapter. Go to Revelation chapter 1, starting at verse 12. It says, and I turned. I want you to check this out. It says, and I turned to see the voice of that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to his feet, and girded about the path with a golden girdle in his head. Look at this. This is the image they gave us right here. Just like they did with Buddhism, they created another god other than the one they came in contact when they first got there. But they're giving you the definition and the description of him, but this the image they're giving you. So I'm gonna read it. His head and his hair were white like wool, and as white as snow, and his eyes as flames of fire, and his feet like unto the fine brass, as they were burned in the furnace, and his voice like the sound of a multitude. See that? So describing this guy right here with this image they gave you. So they already been caught red-handed right there. So you see how here, just like they did with Buddhism, they changed it, switched the gods. And they're making it look like they look. We saw that with the Buddha, and we see it right here. And so this God, the El that's over Israel from the very beginning, it's in the Old Testament. This is the God in the New Testament. Right here, 2 different gods, 2 different people. And they describing the one in the old, but they give you the image of this guy, the Caucasian. And like I was saying, we're dealing with Buddhism, so see what he got on. So he got on the thing that the monks wear, right? And then, so we see what's God over here with our El wearing. He got on Israelite attire, but this ain't none of this tie is no Israelite. It's tied to this India. This is what the monks wear. If you know anything about the monastery and the monks, that's what he got on. He's a monk. So we're gonna keep going. Okay. So me and excuse me, me and we and Daniel again to jump this off. So I'm in Daniel chapter. I'm trying to set up the stage for the and give you a timeline and give you so you can so all this can flow and it can flow and you'll see what how it's all went down. I'm in Daniel. So in Daniel chapter 8, Daniel had a vision of a ram and an eagle, and he was and Gabriel was sent to him. Daniel 8, 1 through 15 was the vision, and then in Daniel chapter 8, verse 15, Gabriel comes to give Daniel the understanding of it. So when you understand what's going on, the vision is for something in the future, and the angel had to come and give him the understanding of it, and then he prophesies it, and then it has come to pass. So we in Daniel chapter 8, verse 15, and it came to pass when I had seen the vision and sought for the meaning. Then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man, and I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uriah, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and I fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, son of man, for the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as I was speaking with him, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright, and he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of the Medes and Persians, and the rough goat is the king of the Grecians, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up before it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation, but not in his power. And in the latter times of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, the king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully. He shall practice. He shall prosper, practice. He shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policies also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So what we're going to focus on is verse 24. He says that his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully. He shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So when we talk about that, he came in and started. They had received laws, statutes, and judgments and their culture at Mount Sinai from the Lord of hosts, and they was that was set in stone. So this guy came, and these Greeks came, and they started changing all that and tampering with it and twisting it. Like I was saying before, it's in their nature. They comes in and they got a thing called Hellenization. So what Hellenization means is they have a kingdom, and they have gods, Zeus and all the gods of the pantheon of Zeus, and they come in and the other people, the other nations that they conquer, they take their god and they would synchronize it with the things and the ideologies that they have, the philosophies and the ideologies they have, and they'll synchronize it with the religion of the people that they conquer. And so we're gonna look at some of the when you see isms, they call them isms, ISM. It's all tied to Greek to what you call Hellenistic or Hellenization. So we're gonna look at some of them. And we see right here we got Pythagoreanism. So anybody know who Pythagoras is? He was a Greek that went into Egypt and studied up under those priests that was in Egypt under the mystery system, and that's how you get Pythagoreanism. Then you got Sophism. You got Platoism. That's Plato. You got neo-plagiarism. You got Hellenistic Christianity, Gorism, whatever it is. You got Hellenistic Judaism. So, like I was saying before, they when they got there with the Buddha, they had the Buddha and had Buddhism. They transformed it and got another form of it. What we see right here, you got Judaism. You had Judaism, which came about from Jews, from the Edomites when they stole the land in 143 BC. So the Greeks came, they Hellenized that. You got Hellenistic Judaism, and then you have down here you got Hellenistic Christianity. Christianity was they created Christianity, but then not only did they created Christianity, they Hellenized it. So the thing I want to focus on to shine a light on who Jesus Christ is, because a Christian is a follower of Christ, just like we just read with the Buddha. A Buddhist is a person that follows the Buddha, and it says that the Buddha has to proclaim to them that they have arrived. That's how they become a Buddhist. You have to show up to them, and do something to inform them that they're on the right path. That's how they become Buddhists. So, but I want to focus on this right here, Stoicism right here, Stoicism, and I want to focus on Cynicism. And what that is these two right here was going on long before Christianity came on the scene. All this stuff here is coming off of Buddhism. It's coming off Buddhism. So all this we'll be looking at right here was being practiced and on the scene before Christianity came. So, and I put this up here right here just to show you that we did this on one of our episodes, and these are 16 crucified saviors. They came on. Jesus is the last one right here. So all these right here, they were born and resurrected deities, gods, dying and resurrecting God saviors. So you see Buddha one of them right here. So Buddha one of them. So there's a big difference between. It's a whole lot of time that passed between Buddha and Jesus. Jesus came on the scene, so he's the last one. And so my objective is tonight to show you how that all Jesus is he was synchronized from the Buddha. So we're gonna move a little forward. We're gonna go a little further. Okay. I'm gonna deal with cynicism first. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna deal with this here word right here. Like I said, you might want to write this stuff down, and you can backtrack it and check it out on your own time. But see right here, the cynicism. That's how you spell it, right there. And so what it is cynicism is originally philosophy. See that right there? So you already see it's dealing with the Greeks, of a group of ancient Greeks called cynics. Now, the word describes the opinion of those inclined to disbelieve in human sincerity, in virtue, or in altruism. Individuals who maintain that only self-interest motivates human behavior. A modern cynic typically has a highly contemptuous attitude to our social norm, especially those who serve more of a ritualistic purpose than a practical one, and would tend to dismiss a substantial proportion of popular belief, conventional morality, and accepted wisdom as irrelevant or absolute nonsense. So what he's saying is that they go totally against the norm of what was going on. And so you say, what you talking about? Well, we just listened to the story of the Buddha. He was a prince. He was a prince. He was next in line to be king of this kingdom over in India. And but he went out and he saw what was going on in the world around him, how he was living and how other people was living. So he went against all that, and he went out in the wilderness and he stopped eating, and he starved himself. So he was against having wealth. He was against he's against sex, all these things, and he was against all that. And he everywhere he went, he just starved himself to death. He would only have a little bag on his shoulder, and people would bring him stuff, here and there to eat. And he did that and kept doing it until finally one day he was sitting under this they call it a Jupiter tree, and then all of a sudden he got nirvana, which is what I was talking about earlier. When you conquer virtue, ignorance, and aversion, you become a Buddha, and you become enlightened, and but it's only through afflicting yourself, not eating, becoming skin and bone, and not going along with the system that's set in place. And so when you say the system that's set in place, it's the system the Most High set in place. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, the Most High said that when he made the man and woman, he told them to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth with children. So that's right there. We see right there the Most High ain't got nothing to do with what they doing, because they ain't got nothing to do with him. He made a man and a woman, both of them have sexual organs to reproduce. And so if you don't want to eat. He made the body. You got a stomach. You got a mouth and a stomach. You got a whole system set up to eat with that you got to eat in order to maintain yourself and grow. So we know they ain't coming from the Most High. Then not wanting to be well off. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, Abraham went down with the Amalek, and the Most High calls Amalek to cause him to give Abraham money, maid servants, male servants, money, gold, and cattle and everything. And Abraham became wealthy. And the Most High had already promised him that. Solomon prayed for wisdom, but the Most High gave him the wisdom, but he also made him wealthy. He made David wealthy. He made Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. He brought Joseph to second in command in Egypt, and made him wealthy. So we see right there that's contrary to what the Most High said. And so what we're gonna keep on going, and we're gonna start to see that what these people right here, this is a cynic. We're gonna go into what a cynic is. Then we're gonna go into the scriptures and see if we see any of this stuff going on in the Old Testament or the New Testament. So, like I said, a cynic is a person that you just take that I am off there, ISM off, you got cynic, and they go around starving themselves to death to the point of death, and they skin and bones, and they ain't had the Most High work. You don't see none of the prophets doing none of that. So we're gonna move on to the next phase. Anybody got any questions while we at this point? Any comments? Something I ain't understand. Okay. Okay, so okay, so like I was saying before, anybody got any questions so far? Comments? Okay, so this guy right here is Diocletian, or that I can't say his name, that Drogonin, whatever, but he's the father of Cynicism. He's the one that started all of it. And so what you say, what is he doing? So now, like I said, you gotta understand that this I'm gonna show you in a minute through images that when this came into existence, and it came in existence before Christianity. It's tied to Christianity. So there he is right here. See what he's doing? This the Greek civilization. This the the witty. This the wealthy aristocrat women. You see the party and all the building and all that. But he's wealthy too, just like Sandaka was with the Buddha. But he refused to deal with all that. He don't want to deal with none of that. See, so he living in a battle. And keep in mind, he got the little lamp with him. You got to keep that in mind. So he got the little lamp with him. But see where he living at? Like I say, nobody knows nothing about none of this in history. They're not connected to the dots. But see, he living in a battle. That's what he was known for. He rather be a hermit. So like I was saying before, go to John the Baptist. When they bring him on the scene, what he doing? And go to what the Essenes. The Essenes doing up at Qumran. See, so like I said, when once the dots start being connected for you, you start to see that they ain't just come out the blue and went out in the wilderness and went to and lived in caves in the Dead Sea, on the Dead Sea. It was a system in place, and it was a process that had been taking place from the time these Greeks had got to India, and it was this Buddhism, and what they right here. So see in the battle, you don't want to deal with the women, the ladies. You don't want to deal with them. You don't want to deal with them. You don't want to deal with the culture. None of that. This, like I said, this the father right here. So he ain't going. So you say, well, what you talking about? We're gonna go in. We're gonna go a little further. So we're gonna go a little further. So, okay. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is start developing a timeline with this. So now you see over here, this is the guy right here I was telling you about. You want to write his name down. It's Diogenes. It's Diogenes, and he's from Sinope, Sinope. So anyway, so now he's this is the cynic's characteristic. It says defy all. That means you ain't going along with nothing. You don't want to go along with nothing that's been set in place. You don't want to go along with nature or nothing that's been set in place. So it says defy all. Conventionally live in a tube. See, there he is, living in a tube. See the dogs around him? These dogs will come into play too. So it says live as a bomb, pretty much. Live as a bomb. Cynics actually mean dog. See that? So live like a dog. See that? That's where the dogs come in. I showed you the little light that he holding in his hand. So anyway, so it says cynics actually means dog, which was a nickname given to him by Plato. So Plato, they both of them, Plato a Greek philosopher, this guy, Greek philosopher named Diogenes, and Plato says he called him a dog because of the way his ideologies and the concepts of the way how he lived. And then he says when Plato defined man as a hairless dog, Diogenes tossed in a plucked chicken and said, here's Plato's man. So like I was saying before, these supposed to be the people. When you hear these names, these were the elite thinkers at the time of the Greeks ruled the world when they was Hellenized and everything. And so, like I said before, what you have to understand is they taking this. It's like 250 people following Alexander everywhere he go, and every time they conquer a country, they cut these people here with these mindsets, just like Christianity all over America. This here, Cynic and Stoicism was all over Greece. So they would come in and synchronize this ideology, philosophy with the culture that's at hand. And so, like I was saying to you, once we start getting into this, you're going to see the timeline in it. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because a lot of people are going to try to back their way out of this and say that, all this stuff came about, it branched off of, Christianity came, and then Christianity, this stuff branched off of Christianity, the original Christianity. But here we go right here. That's Alexander the Great. Right here. They go to Diogenes in the barrel. See that? So it says, consider that each man should adhere to an ascetic life. So ascetic life means everything Jesus said about when the young rich man came to him and asked him, what should I do to attain the kingdom of heaven? He told him that right here. Become an ascetic. Because he told him to give everything up you have and give it to the poor. That's what this dude doing right here. So to develop the timeline, this Alexander, this at Diogenes, right? So you say, why are you saying that? Okay, well, Alexander, let's go to the Bible. We're going to tie it to the Bible. Okay, so it says, I just read in Daniel chapter 8, and I'm starting at verse 18. So it says, and as I was speaking as he was speaking with me, Gabriel talking to Daniel, speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, what the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of the Medes and Persians. The rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. The first king is Alexander. So that means that if he came in contact with Diogenes, it had to be before this. It had to be before this. And Christianity ain't on the scene. So it's way before Christianity. And so what all Christianity is a mutation off of this. Synchronization of the Greeks. So you say, well, what are you talking about? Well, 21 says, Daniel 8:21 says, the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that between his eyes is the first king. Now, that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation, but not in his own power. So you say, what you talking about? Well, he told us right here, we know Alexander died. They tell you in history he died from a drunken stupor, but these Edomites killed him. Because the whole purpose of him going to the Middle East was that they wanted to take the land of Israel back. The Edomites felt like Jacob had tricked their daddy Esau when he got the land, he got the birthright. So when Alexander got there, he passed him up. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with Israel and the Israelites. He had heard about the God. So when he passed him up, then the same four generals, they got together and conspired, and they paused him. That's what these people do. That's all they did and we're going to see later on here, but that's all they did in Egypt. The 29th dynasty was pausing everybody fighting, trying to be the king or the pharaoh. They pausing, brothers and sisters pausing each other, trying to get the throne. So my point is this: Alexander died. So this right here had to be before that, because Alexander died right in verse 22. So that means if he came in contact with Diogenes, it had to be before he went on his world conquest or doing his world conquest, which placed this encounter right here way before Christianity came on the scene. Christianity came on the scene, so-called. Jesus Christ came in the first part of the this century. I mean, the BC. So we know that this right here, this ideologies that came on the scene long before Jesus came. So like I said, we just read in Daniel chapter 8 that Alexander got killed. So if he got killed, he had to come across this dude right here before he got killed. So like I said, it give you a timeline, let you know that these ideologies, Cynicism, Stoicism, all these isms I just showed you on the board came along. The Greeks brought it, and it was before Christianity. And we also know the Greeks synchronized every religion they come in contact with their religion, with their ideologies, with their philosophies. Okay, so we're gonna go a little further. Okay. Anybody got no questions? Comments? So, like I was saying before, like I say, it do you some good to go back behind me, and do your own research. I'm just shining the light on it. So, with that being said, right here. So this is a larger picture of what I just showed you. That's Alexander, right there. See him, he got his full gear on and all that, and he come across Diogenes. And there you go inside the barrel. And then here go Diogenes right here. He's the one behind. He's the father of it. See the dog? And see the little light? And then he got the little bag on the shoulder. That's what Paul had. Paul had a little bag on his shoulder. See that? That's all he got. He got that little, he either rejected or creation. The Most High creation. He don't want to deal with the Most High creation. And so, and what you have to understand behind all of this is these guys are homosexuals. They're homosexuals. So that's got a lot to do with it too. But anyway, like I said, see, Alexander and all this glory standing up there, he don't want to deal with him. Gave him a hand. See that? You can totally continue with that little battle right there. Yeah. So that's what a cynic is right there. So we're gonna get some of these laws they got to deal with the cynics. They got a code of law. Okay. 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 All right. So, like I was saying before, I'm give you, we're gonna make it plain. See that? Say cynicism and casual Christianity. So you see how what these people doing is morphing, slowly morphing into Christianity. See the little light, little bag, got the dogs following me, and then here we go right here. Like I said, we probably saw this stuff and didn't understand what's going on with it, but they go Diogenes again right here. Alexander, see how they got this on stone in the museum. See that? Right, so here goes Diogenes with the bag right here. So you want to say I concocted this. So here he is with the bag. Yeah. So like I said, remember Paul on his travels. See the little bag right there. So now okay, so here goes some of the laws. It says there are things in this. I'm on from the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Don't nobody have no questions, comments? Okay, so what I did was I showed you I gave you a definition of what cynicism was and the ideology behind it. So now what I'm gonna do is the ideologies and what's going on with Stoic. So here we go right here. So see that word right here, the Stoic. Like I said, what you have to do, you write that down, you Google it, take that ISM off there, you got Stoic. I just showed you what a cynic was. And so now I'm just going to show you what a Stoic is. So it says right here, there are things in your control, and beyond your control. Concentrate on those things that are in your control. Some things are good, others bad. The rest are indifferent. From the indifference, some are useful. There are passions that are healthy and unhealthy. Replace the unhealthy with the healthy. Happiness is to live in agreement with nature. See that? Happiness is to live in agreement with nature. Why are you saying nature? That's where they go, out in the wilderness. That's what Sandaka did. That's when John come into the New Testament. That's what John doing. You got a badger skin, whatever it is he got on around it. That's all he got on. And he eating crickets and grasshoppers. Ain't got nothing to do with the prophets in the Old Testament. It's tied to this right here. So it says, to achieve that within yourself, you must seek wisdom. Not Yahweh, not the angels, but seek wisdom. To achieve that with society, you must seek justice. To achieve that with the world, you must seek courage and temperament. To live by those virtues is the only true good. To To live without them is the only true vice. Everything else may have value, but it's not important for living a good life. So that's the Stoic creed. Let me read some of this stuff about Stoic. Okay. Say a Stoic is a person who can endure pain. Look at this. A Stoic is a person that can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. Go to the crucifixion, right? Says a Stoic is a member of a philosophy founded by Zeno or of Chetam about 300 BC, holding that the wise man should be free from passion, unmoved by joy or grief, and submissive to natural law, indifferent to pleasure or pain. Stoicism has been a major school of philosophy for about 300 years when Paul arrived in Athens. So looking at, like I showed you, we got a timeline right here. So before Paul showed up on the scene, Stoicism had already been existing for 300 years. So when you understand, when you're dealing with the Greeks, ain't no way in hell that Stoicism, you can't find it in New Testament because they synchronize everything. But you can't see it because you don't know nothing about it. And so that's why I'm shining a light on it. So he says, being Stoic is being calm and almost without emotion. Go back to the crucifixion. When you're a Stoic, you don't show what you're feeling, and you also accept whatever is happening. The noun Stoic is a person who's not very emotional. So they'll have no emotion. They done blocked all that out when it comes to being a Stoic. So you say most of us know about Constantine and how that Constantine brought he raised Christianity up to the status where it's at now. When he accepted it, he brought it, made it the religion of the Roman Empire. When he made Holy Rome, he changed the Roman Empire from the Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire, and he used Christianity as his number one religion. Well, long before that, there was a guy called Marcus Aurelius. Let me show you who he is. No comments, questions? Somebody ain't got no comments? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this guy right here, this is Marcus Aurelius. And Marcus Aurelius is he was an emperor in Rome before long before Constantine came on the scene. But the thing about him was he was a Stoic. And so see what he patterned his life, 7 lessons on life and happiness from a Stoic, Marcus Aurelius. Like I said, write that name down, go do research. So here you go right here. We just saw that Gabriel told Daniel that King of Fierce, that the he-goat was coming, and the first king of the he-goat was Alexander. Alexander was killed, and his kingdom was divided up. That was when Marcus, when he was killed, it was in India. So the Greeks came. He had a whole contingent of people following him. They all ended up stagnated right there in India, dealing with Buddhism. Christianity ain't nowhere on the scene. So they go to Buddha right there. I showed you who the Buddha was a while ago. They go Marcus Aurelius. So he ain't no such thing as Christianity. So he a Stoic. He's tied to Buddhism. And when you understand how when something morph or transform, you can't Christianity. This can't transform out of Christianity when Christianity ain't there. Christianity had to come out of this. So see that Stoicism. See that? Take the ISM off of that, you got Stoic. Buddhism. Take the ISM off of that, you got the Buddha. So these Stoic and Buddhism came long before Christianity. When you put these two together, now you start to see Christianity come on the scene. And this is a JFAC. This is a Gentile, so we know that y'all ain't got a damn thing to do with it. So this is a Greek. So you see, Marcus Aurelius is tied to the Buddha, because there's no such thing as a Christian, because they ain't concocted it yet. You know, and like I said before, this guy right here was the emperor. This is long before Constantine came. Constantine ain't doing nothing new. So, let me read some stuff on Marcus Aurelius right quick. Say Marcus Aurelius Antonius was a Roman emperor from one. You go to dates. This is how you connect. You want to connect the dates. Marcus Aurelius Antonius was a Roman emperor from 161 to 180 and a Stoic philosopher. He was the last of the rulers known as the 5 good emperors, the last emperor of the Pax Romana, an age of relative peace and stability for the Roman Empire. He ruled with his brother Lucius Venus until 169. Lucius died in 169. He received the throne from his adopted father, Antonius Pius. So let's look at this, because there's a lot of information underlying in this. So we know that Augustus Caesar was adopted. He wasn't his real daddy. When we see right here, this dude Marcus Aurelius was adopted, and even his when you understand who the Roman emperors was, this during the time of Hadrian. Hadrian, the one built the wall, the wall all the way around the farther reaches of the Roman Empire, the Hadrian Wall. So Hadrian, the guy that followed Hadrian was adopted. So it's something going on. So you know what it is. These guys homosexuals. They ain't privy to be with no woman. So they adopting these boys, and they doing what they do with them, and then they bring them in as you know, it's like they what they call them, playboy or whatever, play toy. So anyway, we see the same thing. We see the same thing going on with we see the same thing going on with Augustus Caesar, which was Octavian. Julius Caesar adopted Octavian, and then but he had a real son from his loins from Cleopatra called Caesarion, and so when he got killed, but all of a sudden the Senate Octavian took it upon himself to go and kill Cleopatra and Mark Antony, you know. But like I'm saying, we see a pattern right here. All these Caesars got adopted sons. You know, see, that's unnatural. You would have a son to take your place, but all of them having adopted sons. Let me answer this question. Then I'm gonna come back to this on Marcus Aurelius. So, question is, I thought Christianity came out of Buddhism, out of Judaism. Yeah, but it's not Judaism. It's not tied to Christianity, tied to our culture. Judaism is morphed off of when the Edomites stole our land. And so Judaism, like I said, the I am, when you see the ISM, all this coming from Buddhism. It's like strands, you know, like strands from a virus or something. You got different strands, but it all originated from here. They constantly synchronizing, and you getting a whole nother ideology as time goes along. To eventually, it was Christianity. When Antioch Epiphanes came on the scene, he ran the Israelites out as prophesied, and Edomites came in. They don't care about the Most High laws, so they came in. They became in cahoots with the Greeks. That's what Judaism come from. But we already know this stuff here already coming down the line. So they synchronized all this with that Judaism. It's all been synchronized together. And so you say, well, what are you talking about? Well, that's why Christianity blew up, because of all you had, just like in America, you got all these people that came from all these different countries all living here. Well, they all Constantine did at the Constantine was created a religion with characteristics from all these people's religions. So it's certain things in there, when they see it, they know, you know, it's related to their religion. See, it ain't nothing but a amalgamation of pagan religions, all wrapped up in one, and cloaked with Buddhism, Egyptian Book of the Dead, and the Tanakh. And that's why it blew up. But we're gonna keep going. Let me get this. Yeah, so this guy Marcus Aurelius says, let me keep. He says, when Marcus Aurelius came on the scene after his stepdaddy died, his adopted father died. He had a brother. Both of them were ruling at the same time, and so it says he received. Then his brother Lucius died. So, like I said before, they tell you Marcus. They tell you that Alexander the Great died. Now they killed him. These people poisoners. They trick-type poisoners. They professional poisoners. So they know how to kill you and make it look like it's an accident. So we know they poisoned Alexander. And so we know right here, it's a throne. It's wealth and throne and fame and all this at stake. So his brother ain't just happened to just die. And it means both of them came on the throne in 161. By 169, his brother died. You do the math. But he says, and his greatest is Marcus Aurelius' greatest intellectual interest was Stoic philosophy that emphasized that faith, reason, self-restraint rules. He was a serious and hard-working man, working man, and was noticed by the Emperor Hadrian. Okay, noticed by the Emperor Hadrian after his earlier choice for as a successor died. Hadrian adopted Titus Aurelius Antonius, Emperor Pius Antonius, to succeed him as emperor. And in the meantime, Hadrian arranged for Antonius to adopt Marcus Aurelius. See that? They all, none of them ain't got no rich son. They adopting these boys just because it's their lovers. So anyway, so homosexuality is tied to all this. You gotta understand that. Antonius adopted Marcus Aurelius as a son and a successor. And then, so what I want to show you right here was that, let me see how we go. Yeah, I showed you that Marcus Aurelius, he came on the scene in 161, 180 was the time he was an emperor, and that was before the Common Era. And then Constantine came after him. Constantine the Greek was a Roman emperor who ruled between 306 and 307, only 306 to 337 AD. So that's almost 400, almost 500 years later. So by the time Constantine come on the scene, all this stuff here then morphed into Christianity. Constantine morphed into Christianity. Okay, so like I was saying before, here goes some of the characteristics and some of the people that were Stoics back at the time. We had a guy called Epictetus. He lived from 60 to 117 CE. These so-called major thinkers, but they Stoics. And then it says, and their ideology was God is a rational substance existing in all of nature. There is a universal natural law of justice and universal brotherhood. Stoic virtues include wisdom, courage, justice, and temperament. He said self-control or fortitude or a way of mastering destructive emotions. So like I was saying, when you start looking at all these are all the same characteristics that Jesus Christ had. So anyway, so I'm gonna read let me put this on right here. Okay. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? Okay, so I'm at the point now where I'm gonna read this in I think it's the book of Acts where Paul was knocked off his horse, and Paul was told to go to he was told to take him to a street called Straight, and then he's gonna get straightened out from there. And then Jesus tells you that he's the way and the truth and the light, and say only through him you can get to the Father. So you say, where did they come from? Well, they got a saying in Buddhism. I'm showing you how long Buddhism existed before Christianity came. The Buddha had an eightfold path, which was called the way. That's long before Christianity came. So we see right here, this is one of the synchronizations of they brought over to Christianity. They say the way to enlightenment in the Buddha. The eightfold path is composed of 8 primary teachings that the Buddhists follow and use in their everyday lives: right view or right understanding, insight into the true nature of reality, or right intentions, the unselfish desire to realize enlightenment, right speech, using speech compassionately, right action, using ethical conduct to manifest compassion, right livelihood, making a living through ethical and non-harmful means, right effort, cultivating wholesome quality and qualities and releasing wholesome qualities, right mindfulness, whole body and mind awareness, right concentration, meditation, or some other dedicated concentrated practice. The middle way, this is what it's called. The middle way was used in the Buddha, which is the Buddha tradition in regards to be the first teaching that the Buddha delivered after his awakening. The middle way is a term used in Buddhism that in its simplest definition means a balanced approach to life. Balance is not the same as passivity, or however, when you walk the middle way, you extend a continual effort. The middle way is the correct view of life as taught by the Buddha. Okay. And I showed you earlier how you got two types of Buddhism, because after Greece came, they created another Buddhism from the original Buddha. So it's two Buddhism now, two different types of Buddhism. Like I said, one of them is Theravada, which is the way of the elders, and it rests on core Buddha teachings from the beginning. And then you have the other one called Mahayana Buddhism that the Greeks created. So, with that being said, I'm gonna show you a couple more things. Then I'm gonna do some comparison and contrasts with what the Buddha got quotes, and Jesus got quotes, and I'm gonna do a comparison and contrast with those quotes. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Okay. Okay, so right here, I got some stuff on here just to, cement everything I've been talking about. It says these are disciplines, Stoic disciplines. It says desire, action, assent, derived from physics, derived from ethics, derived from logic. So what you see in here is nothing that to do with the creator. Nothing have to do with heaven. Nothing. All this. When you understand who the Greeks are, they come from Cain's descendants, and the Most High cast Cain's descendants away from him. So they don't know nothing about the Most High or bouncing nothing off of what the Most High said. So virtue, courage, temperament, virtue, justice. It says down at the bottom, don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path of peace. And this the guy I told you, I was mentioning those men earlier. This is one of them, Epictetus. And then it says, men exist for the sake of one another. See that? They go to homosexuality. Men exist for the sake of one another. Teach them then, or bear with them. Marcus Aurelius, I just talked to you about him, says, what decides whether a sum of money is good? The money is not going to tell you. It must be the faculty that makes use of such an impression, reasoning, or impressive reasoning. So you see how this all philosophizing. Now how it's like I said before, when you're around somebody that think like this, because nothing is solid, concrete, everything vague, So we come over here and we see same thing. This the guy, Diogenes, I showed you that was hiding in the barrel. And this is Epictetus right here. It says, virtue is only good. Externals are different and may be referred as dispreferred. The ethics necessarily feed into. Then you got psychic logic, and like I was saying before, none of this stuff has. It's all about controlling your own destiny and coming up with making your own way. You're not depending on the Most High, or you're not dealing with no higher being. It's all about everything that you need and that control your destiny is within you. And that's what they're saying when you go to the New Testament, when they say it's a Christ in you, the Christ here, the Christ there. It's a trick with words, but they actually talking about all this here, these ideologies right here that I'm talking about right here. It ain't got nothing to do with what the Israelites talk about and what the angels show our forefathers. It's got to do with this. When you're dealing with the New Testament, this is what it's alluding to right here. Okay. So what I want to deal with right now is from the Buddha. The Buddha had a bunch of prophecies, and the prophecies that he had was tied to what they call betrayal. You want to Google it. Let me get how you spell it. Okay, you spell betrayal Maitreya. And so who Maitreya is when the guy at Sandaka became a Buddha, he had a bunch of prophecies, and he said that it was the Buddha was going to come back in the latter days. And he was going to be he's going to be all knowing and all this stuff. And so let me show you who that is. So these not prophecies that the angels gave the Israelites. These prophecies that came from out of India, from the Buddha. Okay, so what we have right here, it says you go some of the prophets. This material right here. So this is who they say coming back. Like I said, notice you look like the Buddha, the original Buddha I showed you. So all this is prophesied long before Christianity came. Now here goes Jesus. They're telling you that Jesus is coming back in the New Testament. But notice the imagery. He's sitting, and it's all this, it's countenance, everything, just like the Buddha is. See that? This is Maitreya over here. And so then when they the writers and all that they came at the council, they still understood, they knew about all this. We just now found out about it, but they knew about all this. So this is what they had on the table when they concocted him. Now he coming back in the latter days. So you say, what you talking about? So I was telling you, well, we know that these angels, they got names. And their name means tell you what they're capable of. So say Michael is he who can create. There's no other angel like him. So what we looking at is somebody behind the scenes that's imitating. So Michael is he who can create. So it's two trees in the garden. You got Samuel in the garden too. Michael the tree of life, Samuel Samuel, which is Satan, Lucifer, he got all kind of names. That dragon, he is he who imitates. He imitates. Every time the Most High, every time he come along, he imitating what he come in contact with. Specifically what the Lord host doing. He come behind and imitate it. He had the Israelites to build a temple. He came behind them and backdoored them and used the Gentiles and the Edomites, and he built the temple. You know, the Most High got a covenant with the Israelites. He came and concocted a covenant with the Gentiles in the New Testament. So you got an imitator, you got a creator, one who can create, but you got one who can imitate. And that's what you have to always be looking for. Like they say, the yin and yang. You gotta every time you come across something, you want to know, is this the real deal, or was it imitated? When you understand what's going on. So I'm gonna show you what this about this material. So this guy, Sandaka, prophesied. He says, at that period, brethren, there will arise in the world an exalted one named Maitreya, fully awakened, abounding in wisdom and goodness, happy with knowledge of words, unsurpassed as a guide to mortals, willing to be led, a teacher of gods and men, exalted one, a Buddha, even as I am now. He by himself will thoroughly know and see, as it were, face to face, this universe with its worlds of spirits in Brahma and in Mara, and its worlds of reclusive and Brahmin. Okay, anyway, so the Buddha prophesied that there was a Buddha coming in the future. Well, let's look at it. Like I say, anybody got any comments or questions, they can say it while when I'm in the process of changing out these videos, changing out these images. So the Buddha had prophesied long, hundreds and almost thousands of years ago that another Buddha was coming at the end of the world, right? So let's look at it. So we back to this right here, so I can make it plain. So see right here, this is Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a god while he lived on earth. They made him a god while he was alive on earth. They made her a goddess, Isis, while she was alive on earth. They had this boy right here, Caesarion, right? Well, the Buddha already made a prophecy that it was one coming after him. So here comes Caesarion, the son of God. His dad and mama are already gods, but he got caught in the pickle, and Augustus Caesar came on the scene, killed him and killed his mama, Mark Antony, and him. But the mama, understanding what was a monastery. And it was another Alexandria up in the Himalaya mountains. So this boy come, son of God, from out of Egypt, a ruler, 12 years old, but he raised by the Buddha. So he go to Maitreya right here. The Buddha already prophesied it. And then at 30 years old, he come back to where he came from. And like I said, now he done did the same thing Sandaka did. when he come in the whole known world, everybody that's in Judea and India and all that, think he dead. Then he come back. He betrayal. That's why they followed him very well. But like I said, we're gonna look at his ideologies, and we're gonna look at what he was doing and what he was saying. That's why I'm gonna do the comparison and contrast with some of his sayings and some of the Buddha sayings. So let me read one more of these prophecies. Behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also who pierced him, and all kindred of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Clouds means confusion. Anyway, so we see right here the same thing as the Buddha said. They just took it and put it over the New Testament now and put it on Jesus. What the Buddha said. All right, look at this. I told you one of those isms is monkism, monistic ism. That's monks dealing with monks. It says the monks and the stream attenders followers will be strong in their union with Dharma for 500 years after the blessed one shows up. In second 500 years, there will be a strong in meditation, and in the third period of 500 years, they will be strong in eradication. In the fourth 500 years, they will only be occupied with gift giving. The final of the period of 500 years will see only fighting and improving among the monks and followers. Pure Dharma will then become invisible and disappear. So like I said, you thinking that some of these prophecies, some of this stuff they got written down in the New Testament, it's coming out of what the Buddha said, coming out of Buddhism. So anyway, let me read some of these sayings that Jesus said in comparison with what the Buddha said. Okay, so yeah, here go the book right here. I got it. So I don't know if you've seen it before. There it is. It's Jesus and the parallel sayings and the Buddha. Okay, so it says, I'm gonna read some of this first, and then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go into the some of the sayings. It says, let me see where I'm at. Say, you hold in your hand a remarkable and beautiful book. In our modern times, we have had translated for us the teachings of all the world's major religions, the wisdom of the ages, Jesus and Buddha, two of the greatest holy beings ever to walk the earth. Inspirations to billions are now meeting in an encounter of the spirit in the West. When we listen deeply to their words, we find that in many ways they speak with one heart. The brotherhood of these sacred physicians, healers of the sorrows of humanity, were portrayed to me in a faraway land long ago. While studying Buddhism, I had the privilege of visiting a monastery in Mekong Delta in Vietnam. It was built on an island by a master of peace known as the Coconut Monk, and filled with monks during the war years. Passing along the waterways in the midst of active fighting, our boat arrived at a dock where Buddhist monks greeted and escorted us around. They explained to us the teachings of the nonviolence and forgiveness on which they had staked their lives. We ate together. Then they took us to the end of the island where, on top of a hill, there was an enormous 50-foot tall statue of standing Buddha. Next to the Buddha stood an equally tall statue of Jesus. They had their arms around each other, shouldering and smiling, while the helicopter gunships flew by overhead and war raged around us. Buddha and Jesus stood there like brothers, expressing compassion and healing for, for all who would follow their way. The bond of love depicted by these statues rests on the universal wisdom that they share. They both taught the laws of the heart, the eternal fragrance of virtue, the path of generosity, the power of faith, contentment, and compassion. They both inspired their disciples. See that? They both inspired the disciples. So Buddha the Buddha existed at least 500 years before him. He got disciples. We don't see no disciples in the Old Testament. To turn from the materialism of the world and to live a life of spirit, to come to know the timeless truth, to awaken to the undying. There is one truth, not many, said the Buddha text. It is open to all. See and know this for yourself, said the Buddha. Jesus pointed in the same open-handed fashion when he said, the kingdom of God is within you. This is the universal wisdom. There can be no doubt. When holy men and women, revered elders, Christian monastics, and Buddhist masters have met in recent years, they know one another like family, as living in the same life of purity and holy renunciation. The meeting of Thomas Morton and the Dalai Lama was said to be filled with profound connections and delicious laughter. Then there is the story of the old Zen master the old Zen master who met a famous Christian abbot in an airport in the United States. It was a chance encounter and there was no translator present, so they sat together for an hour, holding hands and smiling broadly. What matters is not the scholarly and theological differences between Buddha and Christianity, but that both offer us direct teachings, instructions, practices, ways to conduct our lives and free our hearts. Jesus and Buddha say to us even today, follow me. Do we dare? If we could read, listen to, take to heart, the enact and enact even one verse from these teachings, they would have a powerful illuminate on our hearts, free us from confusion and transform our lives. Okay, so now I'm going to read some of these. It says parallel sayings. It says, "Do to others as you would have them to do to you. Consider others as yourself. Give to anyone who requests it. Give when you ask." So the first one was the Buddha. The first one was Jesus, and the second one was the Buddha. Okay. Here we go. Jesus. If anyone strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. The Buddha. If anyone should give you a blow with his hand, or with a stick, or with a knife, you should abandon any desires and utter no evil words. Okay, Jesus. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. From anyone who takes away your coat, do not withhold even your shirt. Give to everyone who begs from you. And if anyone takes away your goods, do not ask for them again. The Buddha. Hatred do not ever cease in this world by hating, but by love. This is an eternal truth. Overcome anger by love. Overcome evil by good. Overcome mischief by giving. Overcome liars by truth. I'm going to read a couple more. Jesus says, put your sword back into its place, for all those who take the sword will perish by the sword. Buddha, abandon the taking of life. The ascetic Katuna dwells, refraining them from life without stick or sword. Jesus, truly I tell you, just as you did not, truly I tell you, just as you did not do it to one of the least of them, you did it not unto me. The Buddha, if you do not tend one another, then who is there to tend you? Whoever will tend me, he should tend the sick. Okay. Buddha, Jesus. Grace and truth came through Jesus, the Buddha. The body of the Buddha is born of love, patience, gentleness, and truth. This is the last one. Jesus, I tell you, there's joy in the presence of angels of God over all sinners who repent. Buddha, the Nirvana loves all living beings as if each were his own child. Okay, so with that being said, anybody got any comments? I'm gonna show you something else, and then we'll open up for the Q&A if anybody got anything to say. Let me show you this. Yeah, I said we went over what a cynic was, and we went over what a Stoic was, and all of them they did exactly what the Buddha did. They went out and they stopped eating, and they started dealing with nature, and they they went against the status quo. So they starved themselves to death. They starved themselves. So I'll show you something. Here we go right here. We're gonna view these images, and then we're gonna go into the Q&A. See that? Now we see why we see these type of pictures. See that? That's the Stoics. That's Jesus. That's Jesus right there. See that? They got nothing to do with the Old Testament. See how he starved me? He had 4 years. Look here. Look over here. Stoicism, Cynicism. They got nothing to do with this. Straight out of this, straight from Buddhism. See that? See that? See how you look? He starved himself to death. Look here. See that? Okay. So, anybody got any comments or questions before I close out? More comments, questions? Okay. With that being said, I hope this helps somebody. I just wanted to, I felt the need to do it, and like I said, I'll see everybody on Friday with for our Q&A. So I'm gonna say shalom, and another shalom.